Thanks, Greg, and good morning. So what do you feel like talking about? You just finished the midterm, right? So you're relaxed as far as that goes. Or do you just want something you want to know what's going to be on the final? We can get that out of the way. You saying, yeah? So I used to teach a class very much like this, actually, at the University of Michigan. But full disclosure, I actually went to, in the early 1970s, I went to the University of Tennessee. And actually at that time, our number one rival was actually Auburn. I never visited here before. It's a beautiful town. It's really great to be here, and great to see that you're studying what you're studying. I think this is an important topic, and I think it's one that hopefully can serve you well as you go through your careers. I don't know, what's your biggest question so far, taking this class for the last, couple months, month and a half, whatever it's been? Anything? Nothing? Too early in the morning? All right. Let's see. Can you see that even? It's kind of washed out. You can see it okay? All right. So I'll just talk a little bit, and I guess you can stop me when you want. That did not work. So this should go okay like that. So I'm going to flash this slide up just for a minute to say that, let's see, I could talk about that all day, or even the whole 45 minutes we have left. I won't do that just yet. But we'll come back to it. So Lean WX. So UX, user experience. So there's a whole Lean UX. So Lean has been around now for a while, as you learn. And there's some kind of splinter or adjacent movements to go with it. There's Lean Startup. There's also one called Lean UX. So it's how you apply Lean principles and practices to the user experience. So designing apps and things like that. And that's a pretty interesting crowd that I've gotten to know pretty well the last couple of years. And it's kind of through interacting with them that I came up with the idea that we should think about Lean WX. And if you think about a role for industrial engineering, you're all going to be industrial engineers, most of you. I mean, industrial engineers used to and should again rule the world of business. And there was some dark ages there where industrial engineers were kind of cast aside, but we're coming back. Because industrial engineering is where it all comes together, where the whole business really should come together. And where that really comes together, I think, is the way you design the work for people. And a lot of times we think of that in the world of ergonomics, design work that's good for an individual to do, but it's more than that. It's how you design that whole worker experience. And by worker, I really mean everybody doing work. And that's the person on an assembly line, that's also the person designing the assembly line, that's the person that's ordering all the parts that are going to be used on the assembly line. It's everybody. So how we design those work experiences, I think, is key to success. And also, I think that's kind of what Lean is all about. So what you see here, you've learned about this, but here's an assembly line. So why don't you tell me, actually, what's going on? What do you see if you look at that little slide? It's not a test, this is just a start a conversation. So it looks like he's got a defect. What else do you see?
Takt time is about 60 seconds.
Thank you. That's right. So there's something happening now, but also before that, here's a guy that's got 60 seconds to do his job. What else do you see there? So that's something that was designed in. Okay, 60 seconds. What else? Have any idea what he does and how many things he can do in 60 seconds? You wouldn't necessarily know this, but on a job of this physical size, a car moving along, 60 seconds, human can do about 10 or 15 things, depending on how much complexity is in it, how big the part is. About 10 or 15 things. So we've got 60 seconds to do 10 or 15 different things. So somebody's got to design all that. And you can design it poorly, you can design it really well. And even if you design it really well, like you said, somebody's having a problem. So what else do you see? What else do you think about when you look at that?
The workstation tree is having some defect, that's why the supervisor sees the ant on right.
So he's having a problem, defect, and another thing you can see here, which is already pointed out, another thing you see is that supervisor or team leader knows that, and it's coming over to help. Okay. What else? It's all right. I'm not looking for one thing. What else do you see, though?
The car's moving. I didn't see that earlier, but I mean, it's only moving similar as part of the design.
The car is moving. And so actually, what else you can see is, he's got 60 seconds to do the job. You can also see that he's having this problem, he or she, at the 40-second mark. That's just something else you can see. What else? Yes, sir. Looks like he might be stopping the line. You can't know. How do you know that? You know that because you're taking this class. So that's interesting. So anyone else have another thought about that, about what's happening?
Well, there's 8 on levels, which we haven't been over. We've just been over green and red.
So actually what happens here is it doesn't actually stop right away. Okay. It could. You could design it that way. And so what I kind of want you to take away is not just the fact that it doesn't stop there. That could be an exam question. But the fact that that's the way they thought through how to design it. That's what's important. So somebody thought through, how do we want to make this work? Both for the worker, but also to get the work done. So you can build product. It doesn't actually stop right away. So again, some of you may have read ahead, you hadn't covered it in this class yet, but so do you know what is happening? Instead of it stopping right away, which it could. So he pulls the rope. There's a rope right there. Doesn't have to look for it. It's right there. Pulls it, and that lights up, on this signboard. You don't need to learn a lot of Japanese words for this, but some of it did come from Japan. There are a few Japanese words, and there's one, and on, which just means a light signboard. That's all it means in Japanese. And it lights up 3, and that corresponds to his workstation number 3. So now there's somebody, a team leader, supervisor, that knows that worker number 3 is having a problem. Again, it looks real easy and simple, but that is a huge big deal, actually. Because there's going to be a couple of thousand workers out there. No, not there's going to be maybe 400 or so workers on this assembly line. And there's a way now to know if any one of them has a problem at any point in time. So that's actually a huge deal. But not only can you know that, there's so much more going on here. So this worker, going back to the 60 seconds and the 40 seconds and the 10 or 15 things. So this worker was able to know that, let's say she was having a problem. She was able to spot a problem. And you want to do, once she spotted a problem, which is to contain and notify. And you had to do that. She also knew what was going to happen next, which is somebody is going to come help within her job cycle. Now that sounds like, okay, well, why not? Why wouldn't you do it that way? But that is a huge deal. That's a radical difference from the way things used to be. It's actually a big difference between that and the way things are in most places today, although a lot of places have something like this. But I guess the point I want to make is there's a real detailed technical design here. Every one of those 10 or 15 things are detailed out exactly how many seconds it's going to take, and the worker can see, along this 60 seconds, where they are, how they're progressing. And in addition then to that technical design, there's a social design here. So that the person is not just trained to do those 10 or 15 things perfectly. That's true. That's just part of it. They're also trained or educated to know how to spot when something goes wrong, how to spot a problem, how to identify a problem, and what to do with it. So each person is learning to be a problem solver, and they're learning to work with other people. So you have a social and technical design that's detailed out to the nth degree. And because they're coming to work on this problem together, it's going to be constantly changing. Because every time they fix a problem, they're going to try to fix it in a way that doesn't come back. And as they start getting good at that, they're no longer just responding to problems. They're going to be looking for things that can be made better. So a lot of times we talk about continuous improvement and how, if humans are good and they're smart and just turn them loose and they can come up with better ideas. But that's kind of true. But when you're involved in something like this, doing 10, 15 things every 60 seconds, you need to go further than that to really detail out the design. How do we want people to engage with the work that they're doing? So that's what we mean kind of by lean WX, design and work experience. So who's going to do that? It's going to be you in the future. So learning this really is important to help make the world a better place.